Cricket on ESPN Classic. Sponsored by CompuTeach. Your future in safe hands.
What a toss it was for Greg Chappell to win in this third test match at Trent Bridge. A beautiful looking pitch, white and very, very hard. Looked as though there were a ton of runs in it and conditions very good for batting. A few clouds around, but mainly sunshine when the opening batsmen walked out, McCosker and Davis. As far as England were concerned, they'd recalled Jeff Boycott. He got a tremendous reception when he came onto the ground. Very nice to see, and he appreciated it very much. And another new cap in the side was Ian Botham. Bob Willis bowled the first over of this third test match from the Radcliffe Road end. Rick McCosker was the batsman.
Well, that's a hook shot, which has been the downfall of McCosker so many times, but he played that pretty well. Right on top of it, hit it away flat and square on the leg side. And the first runs go up on the board. That's a tremendous stop round the corner. Warmer, wonderful piece of work there. And as we see this again, it's interesting to note that he's moved from that very close position for Hendrick, and he's there for the catch behind, and that really was a wonderful piece of work. That's a good shot. Nicely through mid-wicket. That will go through for the first boundary for Ian Davis. So we're going to get the first change, I think, at the Radcliffe Road end. Bob Willis, who's proved fairly expensive in his 5 overs, cost him 19 runs this morning. Giving way and giving an early opportunity to the man in his first test match here, Ian Botham. Ian Botham is the leading wicket taker in the country at the start of this test match. 75 wickets he's already taken in first-class cricket this season. Add this to the 642 runs he's made, and must have a wonderful chance of reaching the double. That's edged away, and it's beaten Greg. The third slip would have been handy. Instead, it's 4 runs. And Ian Botham could so easily have picked up a wicket here in his first over of Test match cricket. Not a good shot there by McCosker. He was a long way from it. Went at catchable height, just wide of the falling figure of Tony Greig.
Ian Botham. It's a good shot, and it's a fast outfield out there. No chance of cutting that off. The batsmen get full value for their runs in this game. Fairly raced across the boundary. The selectors of both sides just about got it right with their final selection, I think, in this game, although I'd been inclined to play Sargent instead of McCosker. It's an equally good stroke, not timed quite as well, but it's still going to beat the fieldsman into the boundary. Successive boundaries to Rick McCosker. It's a very good crowd in so far. Some sitting on the grass, but pretty much a packed house here. Splendid shot. It's a superb piece of timing. 6 runs to Ian Davis. Lovely, beautifully timed hook. Got it away in front of square leg and into the crowd. Shot again by Davis. Beautifully positioned there. It'll be 4. Nice bit of footwork there by McCusker.
It's interesting to look at McCusker's footwork today. McCusker is, watch the back foot. This is the important one. He's taking not such a big stride there, but then he takes another one. And that's more like his normal footwork. He has been taking rather a giant stride first up. Good footwork and a good 4 there.
Four runs. That's quite a typical McCusker shot. Looks as though he's going to pull it in the air. In fact, he rolls the wrists on it at the moment of contact. Got that away in front of square leg, which I suppose is an indication that the pitch isn't quite as fast as we expected. Most of the pull shots, shots in that area, have gone in front of square. That's a lovely shot. Now, Botham's not quick enough to try bowling a bouncer.
Oh, that's a good shot. Very short. Distinguished Test career. This is his 72nd Test match, and only Fred Truman has taken more wickets for England in Test match cricket. Derek standing on 261 at the moment. That's a no ball. Tried to flight it, overstepped the crease, and has been driven through the covers. I think for 4 runs. So from the Radcliffe Road end, it's Underwood again. Well, it's in the air and it's caught. So Derek Underwood takes the first wicket. Ian Davies out for 33. And the catch going into the very safe hands of Ian Botham at mid-on. So a fine opening partnership broken by Derek Underwood, snapping up the wicket of Ian Davies. Fairly ill-directed shot. Lofted gently in the air to mid-on, and the first wicket goes down at 79. And as Greg Chappell comes out, we can see the way again that Ian Davies fell. And a very comfortable catch to mid-on. That's a handsome way to get off the mark. Forced away quite delightfully off the back foot, and Greg Chappell gets underway with a boundary. Hendrick to bowl the last over for the break. That's driven quite nicely through the offside. Randall's chasing it, it's touch and go, and he's done a sliding tackle, a great piece of work there. I don't know whether he kicked the rope as well to give himself a bit more room. But the more important factor is that it's taken Rick McCusker through to 50. So he collects 3 runs from that good off-drive. And Rick McCusker, such a nice fellow, had such a rough time over here this season, that is going to do him a power of good. So he goes to 51 out of 93 for 1. Taking him just a couple of minutes under 2 hours, and he's hit 7 fours.
That's a really lovely stroke from Greg Chappell. You just can't ask to see anything better than that. He just stroked the ball away. He didn't thrash it past mid-off. Just stroked it away to bring up the 100 for Australia in 127 minutes. The last 50 came up in 67 minutes. That's a good catch. That's a lovely piece of fielding by Brearley. And McCusker's gone for 51. And a good piece of bowling from Hendrick. That was a nice leg cutter. It just moved away off the seam. Brearley is going down at first slip there. But McCosker wasn't across to it. Taken very low down by Brearley. But it was a good combination. Nice piece of bowling, good fielding. And McCosker is out with a total at 101 for 2. Made 51. Caught Brearley bowled Hendrick. And Hendrick is rewarded for being the best bowler to date in this Australian innings. Chappell's on 12, taking strike now to Willis, and there are 3 slips. It's a good shot, and it's a very fast side of the field that there's very little chance of a fieldsman cutting off a boundary in that area. It was well timed by Greg Chappell, but Bob Woolmer wasn't all that far behind it, and that brings up Greg Chappell's 1,000 runs for the tour.
So Willis to hooks. That's a good shot. No need to run. Ian Botham had a fairly sticky start here this morning. Bowled 6 overs for 26 runs. Found the edge of the bat on one occasion. Was short of a slip. He only had 2 slips. And he's got 2 slips again at the moment. And he's bowling, first ball. Well, what a return. Look at Botham, absolutely delighted. His first wicket in Test match cricket, and what a scalp to get. The Australian captain, Greg Chappell, bowled by Botham on his return at this end. The 3rd wicket goes down at 131, and Greg Chappell, who'd never really been in the form we've been accustomed to see from him this season, is out for 19. This is the way it happened. So delighted Botham picking up the wicket of Greg Chappell. Looks as though Bob Willis is going to try and tempt him with another bounce or 2. He's got 2 men back on the boundary waiting for any mistimed shot. And that's in, and it's a magnificent catch. An absolutely brilliant catch there. And David Hooks goes, and you won't see very many better close catches than that. Tremendous effort there by Mike Hendrick, and people really couldn't believe it. This big crowd on their feet. Ball skidded away off the outside edge, and Hendrick took a really spectacular catch at 3rd slip. What a tremendous change round. And this, the wicket of Hooks. The outside edge, Hooks turning round, looking almost in disbelief as Hendrick made so much ground to that, away on his left. And Willis to Robinson. Oh, he's straight into his stride. Doesn't hang about, this boy. First ball, a last over-pitched ball, driven firmly through the covers for 4. This is the way he plays this cricket. And whether it's a Test match or a club match, he doesn't change his method or his style. He really lent into that. It wasn't by any means a bad ball. It was only just barely short of a length. He cracked it away on the up. And there's no question at all that this fellow Richie Robinson is a most engaging character. Willis to Walters. Oh, that steered away nicely again. Randall's doing the 100 in even time, but he's not going to be quick enough to catch that. So it was only just stroked away there by Walters. No power in the shot at all, just nicely timed, pushed away on the offside, and some idea of the speed of this Trent Bridge outfield.
Oh, good catch. The finer of those 2 gullies. Hendrick has got it again. Not as good a catch as the one before, but that was superb. And the one just taken to dismiss Walters has broken the back of the Australian batting. Out for 11. There it is again. Never quite there, and that angled bat, very low down to Hendrick on his left-hand side at bootlace height. It's out. It's a good catch too. Really had to move a long way to his right there. I don't think there's much doubt that was well planned. It was up in the driving area for Richie Robinson. Just playing his natural game and going for the square drive. And it was all but out of Brearley's reach at first slip. It was fairly wide, and Brearley went up high for it. And it was a very, very good catch in the end because he had both feet off the ground. Well bowled indeed. I would reckon that's just about plumb. Looked to me as though Marsh was turning that from about middle, trying to get it away onto the onside. And it's 153 for 7. There it is again. It'll be the shuffle across the crease, and I reckon that's absolutely plumb. Good catch again, and a nice piece of bowling from Botham. That moved very well off the seam, and Walker was never quite covering it. Botham has picked up his 4th wicket, and Walker is out without scoring, and that's how the 7th wicket went down. Never quite there with the bat, not getting the body behind it, and Hendrick had slip has taken another catch. That one was much more straightforward. He took 2 very good ones early on, and the man of the moment, certainly Botham making his test debut here at Trent Bridge. He has 4 for 38 in his 12th over. Thompson's off the mark with 4. Thick outside edge. It was never going to hand, and between 3rd slip and gully, and another excellent over from Ian Botham.
That's not far away from gully. Randall having to chase it. Might well have to give best to it this time. No 3rd man. And even the speed of Randall can't stop that. So Thompson collects another boundary. Oh, that's a lovely cover drive. It's 4 runs. And Botham off line length in this over. 2 very short, and then the very generous half volley clipped away nicely by O'Keeffe. So 41 very useful runs added by these 2. And it's Thompson now to face Botham once again. And that's tossed high in the air, and he's out, he's caught. Botham takes another wicket. That's his 5th in the innings. 5 wickets to date out of 9 that have fallen for 196. A simple catch here to Alan Knott. A gentle outside edge, Alan Knott moving nicely into position, tosses it high, up goes the umpire's finger, and Australia lose their 9th wicket for 196. Jeff Thompson caught Knott, bowled Botham 21. So Royal Standard going up, heralding the arrival of Her Majesty the Queen. Oh, it's edge plus slip for 4 runs. The quicker ball from Underwood. Keefe looking to hit it square on the offside this time. And he's got that away wide to slip for 4 runs. And that's sliced again wide of slip. So it's 4 more to Annie Pascoe. He's couple down there. Doesn't look terribly happy with himself at the moment.
Today was a royal occasion, and both teams were presented to Her Majesty the Queen. Mike Brearley led them in the traditional 3 cheers, and Her Majesty was given a great reception by the crowd at the end of the 8-minute ceremony. That's a good shot from Len Pascoe. Not much of a backlift, but he timed it very well indeed. The ball has gone into the rope. Derek Randall was the man doing the chasing, and Pascoe wasn't quite sure if he'd been given a boundary or if he had to make the extra distance. Well, it's an even better one.
He saw plenty of that. It's crashed away past Randall for another 4. This has been a really excellent innings from Kerry O'Keeffe. A lot of good common sense behind this innings. A lot of solid application. That should be it. It's caught by Gregg. The last wicket finally falls. Lenny Pascoe goes 420, caught by Gregg off the bowling of Mike Hendrick. And Australia at 5 minutes past 6 are all out for 243.
Well, I suppose it could have been worse for Australia, but not a great deal worse the way that pitch played today. I suppose there was a little bit of variable bounce early on, but it really was a belter of a track. McCosker 51, top scorer, and Kerry O'Keeffe an unbeaten 48, close to that. Only Davis and Greg Chappell, to a lesser extent, looking to be in any real touch. The rest of them in the middle just disintegrated, and it was largely to do with Ian Botham playing in his first Test match for England. Well, England had to survive some 13 minutes at the close of play. Boycott and Brearley came out. Boycott to a tremendous cheer from the crowd, and we pick up play now in Thompson's first over. It's the first ball being bowled to Mike Brearley.
Well, the light has certainly not worsened since the Australian innings ended. But such a highly seasoned and such a class player. It's his 64th Test match for England. And over the years, he's accumulated over 4,500 runs, 12 centuries at the highest level and 26 50s. And Pascoe coming into him now. 4 slips and a gully. And nicely away to a tremendous roar. Moved into position, clipped it away. One's enough, he says. So that's about the biggest cheer of the day. Jeff Boycott off the mark, and he's obviously heaving a great sigh of relief. Played his first Test match here against Australia in 1964. That's a good shot. And again, he got nicely into position. Tucked it away on the offside. 2 runs. He's going to keep the bowling. So back on his long run towards the pavilion. Turning, ready to come in and complete this first day's cricket. Well played, Brearley, right behind the line, pushed away safely. The 2 England openers survive a very precarious 13 minutes there, and in that time they've put together a partnership of 9 runs. 5 of those to Brearley, who's taken most of the pace of Thompson and Pascoe, and a single to Geoffrey Boycott.